My people, the Firewolves, began as a small, tight-knit tribe that did their best to resist being wiped out a long time ago. The truth is, we've always been persecuted. Ever since Bestia's ancient times, people set out to exterminate the Firewolves. For what? It became something of a pastime, a baseless, bizarre tradition that, sadly, has survived through generations. We've experienced torment, oppression, and suffering in ways that went beyond murder. Also, a tribe's stronghold is always under threat of raiding tribes that want to come and sack it. That happened when I was a kid. Oh my God. Yikes. Flames spread, melting our stronghold. Red-stained snow, a scarlet of another name. The corpses of my kin, faces I saw alive and well moments ago, strewn on the ground. Among them were the women and small children incapable of defending themselves. Oh, yikes. Those lifeless bodies. Ooh, what happened? Were trampled, kicked around. The raiders did nothing but laugh. They chased any surviving firewolves as if they were playing a game of tag, murdering their targets for sport. On that day, I saw the face of evil. I remember it so clearly. You didn't say anything. All I could do was howl in rage. A scorching rage which consumed me. Before I knew it, I lashed back at them. That part of the story is kind of fuzzy. Yeah, he probably blacked out. When I came to, the raiders vanished from our stronghold. That's right. According to the firewolves who managed to hide during the raid. Apparently, I went on a rampage and thrashed at the invaders until they were driven away. That was when it was discovered that I was one of the strongest firewolves in our history, but that didn't matter a bit because during my rampage, the surviving firewolves, folks I spent my time with every day of my life, people I called my friends, were murdered. That scared little kid, I was fending off a bunch of raiders, and he came running towards me. But in my bloodlust, my manic state, I couldn't save him. In fact, I couldn't remember a thing.
だから俺はその後悔になる原因になったこの世界のルール自体が憎くて仕方ねえんだ。
The same went for Dromi. Sure, he might prance like an idiot all the time, but his entire family was murdered too. In fact, this situation is far more tragic than mine, since he's the last of his species. Wow. Firewolves and werecats lived closely for years, and we both suffered the same fate of persecution. We were neighbors. That's how he was taken in by the firewolf tribe. Well, at the end of the day, this only made life tougher for him, having to contend with the raid after raid. His resilience is the sole reason he's alive today. That he's alive today. Wow. After gazing at the field, Ignis stared at the vast field of ice upon which a massacre could be happening, just as it had so many times before.
魔獣は闘争本能のままに理由もなく強さを証明し合うために争う。一応俺も魔獣だからよ。それについては諦めてるっつうか、ある程度受け入れてんだ。喧嘩も普通に好きだしな。けどよ。
He continued with a whimper in his voice.
なんで殺すんだ。別に殺さなくたって。 強さを証明することはできんだろう。人間界の野生の動物みてえに生き死にがかかってるなら、まあ複雑だが理解はできる。だがベスティアはちげえ。魔獣たちはただ強さを求めて殺し合う。それも戦う意志がねえ弱い魔獣まで巻き込んで、あえて残酷にむごたらしく。ガキの頃からずっとその理由を考えてきたけどよ、未だに納得できる答えを出せてね。
I listened without saying a word as Ignis's voice cracked. Perhaps this was the first time he had ever opened up about his trauma. Each word felt cumbersome and awkward. He looked insecure about whether or not he could accurately convey the storm that raged inside of him. As a response, I mustered a single nod of affirmation. Seeing this, he finally...
俺はよ、その価値観を変えたいと思ってベスティアのトップに立ったんだ。俺が誰の血も流さず魔獣の頂点に立てば、少しぐらいは影響を受ける魔獣が出てくるかと思ったんだよ。
At last, he revealed what he fights for in this world.
今さらこの血に染まった世界を平和にしたいなんて高望みはしねえ。ただ、
Wow.
せめて殺した命に対して敬意を払う程度の価値観が欲しかった。
So wait, he killed the raiders, but then he also killed his own like firewolf people by accident, because when you black out you don't know what the heck you did. So Ignis kept fighting despite the persecution, despite being an outcast. He wanted to usher in a new world, one without killing or bloodshed. Excuse me. But judging by the condition of the Minotaurs,
けどまあ結局トップに立っても何も変わらなかったけどな。
that's not true.
ベスティアに戻れば襲われて、むしろ俺の命を狙う順をめぐって殺し合いが起こる始末だ。なあ、琴音。答えなくてもいいから聞いてくれるか。
Instead of answering verbally, I gave a slight nod for an answer. I let him know I'm listening, that I am catching every single word.
どうして俺の故郷はこんな残酷な世界になったんだろうな。もし遥か昔にその元凶になった奴がいたとしたなら、俺はそいつを一生恨む。
I wonder if it was that name that Kuroa was trying to say. It starts with a V, Vada, whatever he said. Ignis unshed his armless, what the fuck? Ignis unleashed, I said unshed. Sorry, y'all. Ignis unleashed his aimless anger out toward the desolate tundra. After saying everything he needed to say, Ignis quietly took a breath and exhaled.
聞いてくれてありがとうよ。
You're welcome.
俺はずっと誰かにこの本心を打ち明けたかったのかもしれない。
Was it really okay to tell me? I'm just a human who knows nothing about Bestia.
いいんだよ。いや、お前だからこそ話したいと思った。
Why is that?
は？ どうしてってそれをお前
No, I don't know. I'm gonna pull one of your uncle cards. No, I don't know. Please let me know.
俺はそのだなこうして話を聞いてくれるお前のことが
He almost took the bait, y'all, but then he got wise. He abandoned ship before it was too late. Oh my gosh. That sounds like my stomach. Without missing a beat, his stomach began to growl. We looked at each other and immediately we couldn't contain our laughter. Oh, come on. Did you time that? Is this normal?
仕方ねえだろ。どんな気分の時だって腹が減る時は減るんだからよ。
Excuses aside, Ignis could hardly contain his laughter as well. After his sorrowful story came the kind of typical exchange we would have Enchante. What? Let me read this again. After his sorrowful story came the kind of typical exchange we would have Enchante. What the fuck kind of sentence is this? Whatever. Ugh. I'm not even gonna try to make sense of that. Being flung into this place might have spelled total disaster, at least at first, but I was beginning to think that as long as I remind myself that I'm with Ignis, as long as we could laugh together, I would find peace through the chaos. I know that's right. In the end, we spent a few more minutes getting all of our laughs out. But Ignis, why in the world is your stomach growling so loud? You were fine before I got here.
お前が近づいたら急になんか食い物とか持ってんのか
Huh? Why would I? I was dragged out here in the middle of the night. Of course I don't.
だよな。けどそれにしてはな。お前からうまそうな匂いがする。
Oh my. Oh my. Would you... I'm not gonna joke about that. Something tasty. Maybe I smell like food because I cooked before I came. Sasha, we will not make lewd jokes.
なるほどな。ああ、そういや、お前からもらった弁当うまかったぜ。ありがとうよ。
You're welcome. Happy to hear it. I made quite a bit of food. Were you able to eat it all?
ああ、まあ、そりゃ、お前の作った飯だし、当然食い切れたんだけどよ。いや、なんつうか。初日に案の定大量の魔獣どもに襲われたよ。
You ate it all.
すげえ腹が減って。
Yeah, you ate it all. Wait a minute. Don't tell me you ate it all. Seriously? And all in one day?
ちゃんと味わって食ったぞ。
If you say so. That's fine and all, but his appetite was totally insatiable. What? Why now? As the footsteps drawing closer echoed, we broke our embrace immediately.
んだよ、ドロミ。てめえ寝たんじゃねえのか
寝てたところを他のビニトルたちに叩き起こされたんす。
They should have slapped you harder. Just saying.
それより兄貴、すぐに縄張りに戻ってきてください。こことは別の縄張り近くにアルムムが現れたらしいっす。
Minotaurs? Ruh-roh. With Dromi's report, we rushed back to the stronghold.
こっちだ、イグニス。
Guided by the firewolf, Ignis and I ran beneath the frigid sky. As long as there are Minotaurs around, separating from Ignis would be dangerous. I could be taken hostage like last time. For those reasons, it was best for me to accompany him wherever the Minotaurs may be hiding. Somewhere in the field of ice, south of the settlement. There they were. We came to a mutual decision among us that instead of engaging with them immediately, we would surveil them from I can't read. We would surveil them behind the ice blocks. It didn't seem as though they were searching necessarily for the firewolf stronghold. The reason being, the fuck? Oh, what? One by one, the group of Minotaurs would jump into a dark, warping hole. In other words, a wormhole.
大当たりだな。まさか俺の地元の近くにホールがあるとはよ。
Do you think that wormhole is connected to the human world?
だろうな。向こうにはカヌスと箱入りがいるだろうし、でけえ被害は出ねえだろうな。
Ignis said this under his breath right before he lightly tapped my shoulder. Ooh, he leapt from out behind the ice block, revealing himself to the Minotaurs. I hid in the shadows, and his uncle and I did our best to contain our breathing. The Minotaurs, noticing Ignis's appearance, all turned to face him simultaneously. Their eyes were as expected, the same as those we saw at the GPM in downtown.
やっぱ正気を失ってやがるな。ここに来るまでにどんだけ暴れてきやがったんだ。けどまあ、とりあえずはこれ以上はホールを使わせねえよ。梅雨払いといくか。
He flashed a confident smile and ignited his flames, sprinting toward the Minotaurs heading for the wormhole. The wolf howled, digging his fiery fangs into his opponents relentlessly, just as he did before. Or maybe better than that. Ignis easily subdues the Minotaur, but what, they're not falling? One of the Minotaurs cleaved into another that Ignis had knocked out. It shredded his fallen comrade as if to distract Ignis. Ugh. Ignis thankfully was unharmed, but he was overcome with the surprise of the sight of this merciless act. The other Minotaurs followed suit as they began breaking out into mass violence. Without any fear or hesitation against the fist and flames blocking their path. Some attacked Ignis, some attacked their own kin, running into the flames head on. Oh my god. They battled Ignis without fear, knowing he could easily crush their bones. There were no casualties, but I had to avert my eyes from the wave of violence. Thanks to Ignis's efficient subduing of the Minotaurs, I was spared from witnessing further bloodshed. But one remained. Uh-oh. Odd Minotaur? Why is it odd? There was a lone Minotaur, watching the battlefield from afar. We only noticed him as the dust settled. Uh-oh. The beast opened its mouth. The hell? You don't sound like a Minotaur. Thick drops of viscous saliva dripped from his mouth, splashing onto the snowy ground. Ew. It's clear he isn't sane. But one thing was, we finally encountered a Minotaur that may be able to communicate with us. To grasp this one-time opportunity, Ignis lowered his fist. Instead, he threw out a question.
おい、牛肉くんよ。てめえら一体何のつもりだ？人間界で俺を襲って何になる？ベスティアで俺をぶっ倒して死体を晒してもしねえ限り、俺からトップを奪った証明にはなんねえだろ。
Yikes.
違う。もう俺たちはトップなんてどうでもいい。
だと。
Ignis was taken slightly aback. The Minotaur cackled in the distance as the icy air swirled around us.
俺たちの目的はただ一つ。どんな手を使っても、どんな場所を選んでも、てめえを殺すこと。
Okay. Well, wouldn't that fall in line with becoming the strongest if you kill the strongest? Like, what the fuck? Logic.
てめえが危険だから。魔獣として異常だから排除しなくちゃならね
え。は
あ? Exactly. Huh? Ignis lowered his shoulders, letting the Minotaur's words sink in.
異常だ？まさか不殺のことを言ってんのか？だとしたら今更すぎんだろ。
In response to Ignis's confused response. Why couldn't you say question? That's kind of confusing in itself. All right, you had to knock him out. The Minotaur bent over backwards, breaking into heavy, patronizing laughter.
何がおかしい？
偽善者。てめえが命を語るなどおかしい。
The beast grinned, continuing in his ridicule.
だってよ、殺してるだろ。ビニトルの縄張りが襲われた時。
I think, yep. He killed his own people too.
襲ってきた魔獣を同族のビニトルもろとも全員な。
Oh my god, this guy's creepy as hell. There was an unforeseen revelation, one even Ignis wasn't aware of.
Huh?
Ignis's jaw dropped. Can't talk. Ignis's jaw dropped, completely dumbfounded. The Minotaur continued.
正気を失い暴れたてめえはそれを覚えてねえだけ。わかるだろ、イグニス。本当はわかってんだろ。
In the face of the Minotaur's accusations, the color drained from Ignis's face.
ざっけんなさっきからこっちが黙ってりゃ適当なホラばっか吹きやがって。俺が殺しただと、それも他のビニトルまで巻き込んで。
You said you blacked out so you wouldn't remember 100% what happened.
けったらねえ、んな根拠のねえ妄言を誰が信じるってんだよ。
根拠ならここにあるぜ。確かめてみろよ。お前にとっては懐かしいだろう。こいつの匂いをな。
The Minotaur chuckled, throwing in an object toward Ignis. A ruined armlet. It differed in size, but it resembled the one Ignis wore on his arm. The moment he caught it, Ignis's eyes shot open, full of disbelief.
あの時に死んだあいつの腕が。
Oh God. By that kid. Could he mean his dear friend whom he lost when he was a boy? Why would the Minotaur have it? Katone is a very good reason. The boy died. Well, we know that, right? So, either the Minotaur killed him or Ignis killed him. And the Minotaur came after the fact and retrieved the armlet. But upon closer inspection, Ignis' surprise was for another reason entirely. His gaze was affixed the dried blood on it. Oh no, yeah, he killed him.
決まってんだろ。
Ignis, I'm sorry, but yes, I agree with the Minotaur. It's obvious you killed him. No sooner after the Minotaur answered. Ignis grabbed his head, crying at the top of his lungs in sheer agony. Yikes! Sounds so weird. Oh, yikes. Yikes. Oh my gosh. Ignis' friend, no!
一体どうしちゃったんだよ。僕たちのことがわからないのか。今の君はまるで。
No! Oh, Ignis. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, baby, no! You killed the friend! Ignis's body jerked in reaction to the Minotaur's whispered taunt. He howled out, as if in utter denial to the accusation.
ちげえ今のは何かの間違いだ。俺は誰も殺してなんかいねえ。現に他のビニトルたちがそう言って。
じゃあもう う一度聞いてみろよ。そこにいる当時のことを知るビニトルによ。
Oh, he's just soaking in, he's just reveling in this shit. Oh my god. He noticed my presence beyond that. Someone stepped out, and without objecting to the Minotaur's words, he looked shaky, uncomfortable, and his hesitation was troubling, perhaps giving credence to the Minotaur's taunt. Ignis spoke to the silent man, his voice quivering with worry.
おい、おじき、何黙ってんだ。こんな時に冗談はやめろ。俺はあの時、誰も殺さず魔獣を追い返した。ガキだった俺にそう教えたのはあんたらだろうが。
Oh my god. After desperately pleading with him to reject the Minotaur's claims. Oh, it's true.
すまない、イグニス。だが、お前自身が一番分かっているだろう。蘇った記憶が間違いではないと。
In other words,
そりゃシュア、他のビニトルが俺を避け続けてる本当の理由。
ああ、当時の魔獣やビニトルのようにお前にいつ殺されるかとひたすらに恐怖しているからだ。
wait, please. I couldn't help but interject in confusion. Then why? Why is Ignis still accepted in the stronghold?
無論、当時は危険すぎるイグニスを殺せという声が多く上がった。それを解き伏せ、真実を隠すことを選んだのは他ならぬ私だ。
The man said so plaintively, but his tone was unkind to Ignis.
落ち着け、皆の者。お前たちの意見はもっともだが、冷静に考えるのだ。こたびの襲撃とイグニスの暴走で、戦えるビニトルは彼以外すべて死に絶えた。残った彼を殺せば、また次に魔獣に襲われた時、我々はどうなる？ビニトルが生き残り、血を残していくためには、危険を承知の上で彼を、あの恐ろしい化け物を利用し、飼いならしていくしかないだろう。
They used him out of nothing but fear and for penance. The cruel designation, delivered from his relative no less, was a heavy blow. His hands felt limp, and from them slipped from his friend's memento, his dying artifact sinking into the plush snow. The Minotaur cackled at the grieving Ignis.
もう一つついでに教えてやるよ。
This is a long chapter. Holy shit.
そもそもよ、正気を失って暴れる魔獣なんざてめえ以外にはいねえんだよ。
What? But why don't the other Minotaur talk then?
今度は何の話だよ。
Ignis looked like he wanted to cover his ears, but the Minotaur went on without mercy.
魔獣はもともと自分勝手で残酷。だからこそ、それを当然のこととして。
I call BS.
どいつも理性を保ってる。
Nah, that's bullshit. Are there not that many, I'm not gonna say sentient, but are there not that many intelligent Minotaur? There's only 2 that know how to converse. You know, some of the Minotaur gotta be losing their minds too.
てめえは違う。戦い、狂って暴れ、殺す。理性を保って戦う俺たちよりもよっぽど厄介じゃねえか。
Normally, Ignis wouldn't hesitate to call the Minotaur out for his lies. But right now, Ignis...
おい、おじき。
He was powerless and all he wanted was truth.
魔獣は戦い、闘争本能を刺激することで来る。
Oh no. Oh no.
ずっとあんたが俺に言い聞かせてきたその教えも。
ああ、私の嘘だ。少しでもお前が暴走しないよう自分を戒めさせるための。
Then what's gonna stop him from rampaging right now?
でなければお前を化け物扱いなどはすまい。
I don't like that.
ってことはなんだ。俺が今まで信じていたもんは全部が全部丸ごと嘘っぱちだったってことかよ。
Ignis finally fell into complete silence, hanging his head downward.
これで分かっただろう。イグニス、てめえはな、ベスティアでただ一人の魔獣でもなんでもねえ化け物なんだよ。
You're one to talk though. You're a monster your damn self, but that's just me.
だからこそ、お前は誰もかなわねえほど強えんだ。
Then the Minotaur turned his back to us without another word, as if his mission was accomplished. He left the dumbstruck Ignis behind, sneering in triumph. I thought your goal was to kill Ignis, while Ignis is like confused why you ain't kill him. At the same time, because the active wormhole was unstable, its opening silently closed. As for the man who was revealed to have lied to Ignis for his whole life,
すまない、イグニス。本当にすまなかった。
no, you mustn't. I'm just kidding. He apologized profusely, then headed back to the stronghold. We stayed behind. The confusion, the shock, it all lingered in that wintry air in the light of Ignis's truth. Oh my gosh. Yikes. That was the biggest truth bomb he's been dealt. And I'm surprised he's still standing. Ignis. I came out of hiding from behind the ice blocks and called upon him, but His gaze was pointed to the ground and he refused to answer. Then, he told me to back away. Did he disappear? The flames covering his body ignited, as if to reject anyone from coming in.
やっと見つけました。
That drove me. Something white, other than snow, came descending from the night sky. Oh, what? His wings were spotted with black. We heard his voice trembling in the cold, and we saw it belonged to... Ew! What are you doing here?
それはどちらかというと、こちらのセリフかと。
Oh, poor baby. He's probably just as about to die of frostbite as I was. Il, who appeared before us, shivered profusely, just as he did the last time he visited Bestia.
あなたの姿が消えたので、もしやと思い、GPM のホールから捜索しに来たのです。
Oh, that's right. Sorry for worrying you. Are you okay? In these conditions? Wait, of course not.
はい。ここまでたどり着くのに大規模な探知術式を連発しましたので、最低限の体力と耐性しか残っていません。
Every now and then, he swiped the snow that fell upon his wings, and Il, unaware of what just happened, called out to Ignis.
なのでイグニス、経緯は知りませんが、あなたが交流していて助かりました。今の私にはおそらく、万が一戦闘行動に入った時に震える力がありませんから。
そうか。
Oh my gosh, he's really dejected.
イグニス、どうしました？何やらいつもより声色が。
Il, please let him be, and don't pry too much for now.
わかりました。ではひとまずこのままゲートへと戻りますか？
Yes, we were planning to spend the night here, but if we do, Il might pass out. But first I have to find Kuroro. He's still inside the Firewolf stronghold.
では私が迎えに行きましょう。縄張りとは先ほど上空から見えた炎の灯る場所に違いありませんか？
How convenient. Yes, and if you can, could you tell Dromi that we are going home too? He nodded in affirmation and powered through his tiredness toward the Firewolf stronghold. I stepped into the snow, walking toward the silent Ignis. Let's go home, Ignis, I muttered to him quietly. No! What? It was painful, but I understood why he refused to come along. There was so much he needed to process. But I just couldn't. I couldn't leave Ignis, who looked ready to collapse, behind by himself. So I reached out to him. I took his trembling arm and put it under mine. I wouldn't let go until he nodded. I found my resolve, holding this thought as I grasped him firmly against me. No, you're coming home with me. It seemed as though Ignis barely had the strength left for anything, much less to shake me off. What was it all for? My path, my entire life, any of my convictions, all of my beliefs were shattered, and my vision darkened, growing dim under the sharp moonlight. Like an idiot, the emotions began to pile up in my heart. I wanted nothing more than to scream. It took everything out of me to contain it. The thin, soft hand, which hung desperately to me, belonged to Otome. I had no idea what to tell her. I couldn't look at Otome directly, so when I shifted my gaze, I spotted, coincidentally, the blood splatter left from my skirmish with the Minotaurs. In that moment, the smell of blood paints my vision red. Then, oh no. I couldn't understand what I had done. In this situation, I instinctively covered my mouth. What was that? Why did I react that way to the blood? My memories are fragmented. I don't know what I was thinking inside the red periphery. Only an odd sensation, one that ignited in my chest. It turned my heart into a burning star. Sometime afterward. Yeah! Hi, baby. We're all together again. Kororo, who Il went to retrieve, was returned to me. As we made our way back to the gate, so that Il won't pass out, Kororo stuck his body out of my arms and probed curiously around the area. In particular, he was fixed on one location, unwilling to budge. What's the matter, Kororo? Let's go home. That's it. Oh my gosh, that was quite the beefy chapter. Let's see where this leads. Alright, that night. Well, folks, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you very much for stopping on by. Woo! Quite the chapter, quite a lengthy chapter. Poor Ignis. I hope he's able to shake this off and proceed as usual, because yeah, we need him to protect us, but to get in the right state of mind so that we can romance him. But yeah, folks, as I bite my lip, thank you very much for watching. I always appreciate you stopping on by. Y'all know my philosophy on this YouTube shit. View what you wanna, do what you wanna, and I'll see you lovely lads and lassies in the next episode. So until then, my friends, take care, take it easy, and peace.